Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabanson, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we're going to be talking about that damn hating ass Shannon Sharpe. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. So as you guys know, the playoffs are pretty much right around the corner. I am very, very excited for the play-in tournament starting on April 16th. And I'm very, very excited for that first round of the playoffs, especially most of the Western Conference series. I won't be watching. I probably won't watch any Eastern Conference series. I think all the fun is in the West. We put up a poll a few days ago and thousands of people voted, and 80% of them said the West is the more interesting conference. And I don't think that's any surprise. Like, they got the best teams, right? So I'm looking forward to that. But as we currently speak, we're still waiting for teams to understand, like to get a understanding of who's going to be playing who, blah, 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 blah. But one playoff matchup we do know is going to be between the Clippers and the Dallas Mavericks. Now, it hasn't been determined whether the Clippers will be the 4 to 5 and vice versa, but those are going to be the two teams that are going to be facing each other. And it turns out this is going to be the third time that these teams are actually going to be colliding over the last 3 years, right? They faced once in 2020. They faced another time in 2021. And now they're going to be facing each other again in 2024, right? And I was there. I saw all of those playoff series, right? And the Clippers won every one of those series, although they were very, very entertaining. I think one of them went to 7 games. I think the other one went to 6 games. I think the one in 2021, I can actually verify this. In 2021, it went to, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7 games. I could be wrong. But anyway, these guys have faced off against each other quite a few times, right? Now, what has been the narrative about this series? Has always been that Luka Doncic dominates the Clippers. And to be quite honest, Luka Doncic is averaging 33.5 points per game with 9.5 assists and 8.8 rebounds in the 13 games he's played in his career against the Los Angeles Clippers. So he has been playing very, very well against the Clippers, right? But there's been this narrative that Luka Doncic cooks Kawhi Leonard and he cooks Paul George, right? These are just haters trying to do this. And, so therefore they're like, oh, I thought Kawhi Leonard was a great defender. I thought, why is he always cooking him? And I'm like, but that's never been the case, right? But then it looks like just yesterday, this same hating ass narrative reared its ugly head again on Nightcap with Shannon Sharpe and Gilbert Arenas, where both of them were just up there pretty much capping it up. And I texted Gil this morning telling him that, yo, you was capping. He never was cooking Kawhi Leonard and all of that. But essentially, that's what they said. So that's what we want to get into today. But before we even get into that, this video is brought to you by our brand new sponsor, PrizePicks, which is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. PrizePicks is really simple. Instead of just selecting a team, you just select 2 or more players, pick more or less their projected stats, and then you place your entry. For example, this week, I'm selecting 2 entries. Stephen Curry for more than 25 points, and then I got Anthony Davis for more than 2 blocks and Damian Lillard for more than 4 3-pointers made. PrizePicks is also the only daily sports platform with an injury insurance policy. So for example, if you have a player who gets injured in the first half and doesn't return to the second half, that player gets automatically rebooted. What I also love about PrizePicks is that it offers weekly promotions like Taco Tuesdays. Each Tuesday, PrizePicks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value. So go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit matchup up to $100. That's go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, use code CLNS for a first deposit match of up to $100. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do is we want to play what these 2 haters had to say on Nightcap yesterday, and then we're going to come back and get into the show. Take a listen to what these gentlemen had to say here.
Because look, their problem is never going to be offense. Their problem is going to be stopping people. They're going to look. We know Luka and Kai between the two can give you 60 easy on a nightly basis. So that's not going to be their issue. They can get hot from 3 with Hardaway Jr. We know Luka can get hot. Kai can get hot. PJ Washington can get hot. So we know they can score.
Mm-hmm.
But in a nip-tuck ball game, can you get stopped? Clutch time. That's what playoff basketball a lot of time comes down to. Last 5 minutes, game within 5.
Mm-hmm.
Can you get stopped?
Well, they're playing against the Clippers, and Luka owns them. He
damn near 40.
Last 10 games alone, he's averaged 37 against them.
Yeah.
For his career against them. That means as a rookie also, he's averaging 32 against the Clippers, right?
You remember what he did? Paul George, can't nobody play defense on the perimeter? Ooh, they might be the best since Scotty and Mike. Lucas said, give me each one of them. Yep. Hey, as a matter of fact, Gil, I know you ain't much of a fisherman, but in the South, we catch a fish, a small one, we throw him back. Hey, go tell your daddy about me. We catch one a little big. Hey, we throw it back. Go get your grandpa. So Luka was dusting all of it. Say, hey, PG, go get me Kawhi. Pat Bev, hey, whoever the best defender, tell him come see me. Wop, 45 and 15. Now they might have won, but he was single-handedly giving them work. Now, can you imagine the confidence? Because there's something to be said. Like, I felt I could do no wrong. If I played Kansas City and the Chargers, if I ever played, it didn't matter. On the moon, on the sun, where it's 10,000 degrees, I was going to cook their ass. I believe in Luka's mind, that's how he feels about the Clippers.
No, that is how he feels about the Clippers. It's just, that's his team. His team is the Clippers, and he gives them fits. If Clippers want to get out of this series, there's only one person you have to even focus on. I know they have Kyrie, but this man is Superman when he's playing against you guys. I'm going to throw a double at him early. I'm going to let him know we're not playing you one-on-one. Hey, fellas, I appreciate all your defense that you've been doing, but he owns y'all, right? He owns you like like that OJ glove. He owns you, right?
That's his.
Flame you, but he owns you. And from there, I'm just going to double him the whole time. I'm not even going to let him get a rhythm of this game. Even if I lose it, I want him mentally challenged.
Right.
But if you let him and he gets 30 and all that, we done.
So you heard what they had to say. That Luka Doncic cooks Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, specifically Kawhi Leonard. Let me tell you what actually happens and what has happened historically. Y'all know that the head coach of the Los Angeles Clippers is Ty Lue, right? What do we know about Ty Lue? Ty Lue likes to switch a lot on defense. It's one of the reasons the Clippers have the deepest or the biggest, I think the best compilation of guards and forwards in the NBA. If you look at their roster, you have Norman Powell, you have Kawhi Leonard, you have you have Paul George, you have James Harden, you have Russell Westbrook, you have Terrence Mann, and the list goes on. You have Amir Coffey, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. And historically, he doesn't like the double team, and he likes you to be able to play your man. And if they call for a pick, he likes you to switch. He doesn't like for people to fight over screens and all of that to avoid the roll and all of those different things, right? So historically, what has happened is when Luke has played against the Clippers, they had a certain set of personnel. Who are those personnel? They had Patrick Beverley, and they had Ivica Zubac, who they still have. So what would Rick Carlisle and the Mavericks do? Luka would bring the ball up the court. He would call for a pick, and he'd keep calling for a pick until he gets the matchup he wants. And usually what would happen was he would switch on to either Ivica Zubac, who was way too slow to guard him on the perimeter and he can blow by him and hit that step back three, or Patrick Beverley, who was too small for him. And he would absolutely abuse those two players. And the reason that Rick Carlisle would run that type of offense was for two reasons. Number one, to take advantage of that mismatch, and also to get Ivica Zubac off the floor, which would then force the Clippers to then go what? Small, right? So you had that kind of thing going on, and then he countered when Ty Lue came up with a counter, which is why he's the best coach and making adjustments, and he brought in Boban and back into the game and all of that, right? But essentially, Luka was feasting on players like Marcus Morris Sr., Patrick Beverley, and Ivica Zubac. And Luka, whenever he would switch and Kawhi would be his primary defender, he would call for another pick. Now, if it's so easy to score on Kawhi Leonard and they can play defense, why do you keep calling for picks? And I can almost assure you what's going to happen in these playoffs is he's going to switch out on James Harden or try to get Zubac. Mark my word. And that's the reason why the Clippers inserted Terrence Mann into the lineup, who has more defense and he has more length and he's quick athletically, right? So the major weak link in the Clippers defense this year is going to be who? James Harden. But James Harden, I'm assuming, because Luka's not really quick-footed, they're going to have James Harden, who is not as quick-footed as well, but he has a big body. He's quite strong, 6'5", et cetera, et cetera. But some people are like, no, you're just a Kawhi Leonard fan. He cooks Luka. Let me give you Kawhi's stats against the Mavs last playoffs they played each other. Because nobody talking about the Clippers cooking, Kawhi Leonard getting cooked. I never hear about Kawhi cooking the Mavs because they've beat them every series they played. What's Kawhi averaging against them the last time they faced each other? He averaged 32 points, 32.1 points per game, shooting 79 with 7.9 rebounds, 4.6 assists in a 7-game series. Some games he was shooting 70% from the field. As a matter of fact, in 4 of those games, he shot over 70%. And in the last game of that series, he shot 67%. He was shooting 60%. He shot over 50% from the three-point line 4 times and over 60% from the three-point line 2 times in that series. Who's guarding Kawhi Leonard? Who y'all got to guard Kawhi Leonard? Nobody. And he's going to feast on these dudes. He's going to feast on the Mavericks. It's going to be a bloodbath. Now let's get into the deeper numbers because some people are like, he cooks Kawhi. Let me actually give you the data here. I want to put it up for you. We're going to show you Luka Doncic's stats when he's being guarded by Kawhi Leonard in 65 possessions. In the 65 possessions that Luka has been guarded by Kawhi, he scored 22 points on 37.5% shooting from the field and 30.8% from the three-point line. That's the guy he cooks. He's shooting below 40% from the field and 31% from the three when being guarded by Kawhi. Those are the facts. That's why he never lets Kawhi Leonard guard him. Ever. When the playoffs start, let me know where you see Luka play Kawhi Leonard straight up. It will never happen. Or if it does, it'll be my mistake. What is Kawhi Leonard when he's guarded by Luka Doncic? On 35 possessions, he scored 19 points on 50% shooting from the field, 50% shooting from the three-point line. So the question is, who do the Mavs have that's going to stop Kawhi Leonard? Because I think this series is going to come down to Kawhi Leonard and Luka Doncic, and I got my money on Kawhi. Y'all can have it on Luka. I'm going to have it on Kawhi. Kawhi Leonard goes to a totally different level in the playoffs. And if he's healthy, that's what I got my money on. Another thing I think is important that we bring up is also addressing this narrative of how he owns the Clippers. He owns the Clippers, and the Clippers need to be running and hiding and running away from Luka. Oh, my God, they're afraid of Luka. But yeah, and still, Ty Lue really wanted that 4th seed. He really, really wants to play the Mavs, right? Now, why is that? Well, this morning, one of our viewers sent me something from a credentialed writer covering the Clippers for Fan Nation and is also an occasional insider for Bleacher Report, Farid Essenari, and he put up the following data yesterday on his X. Let me read it. He says Luka Doncic has a 12-9 record against the LA Clippers, including getting eliminated from the playoffs twice. His 19 losses against the Clippers are the most against any opponent in his career. That sound like somebody that's dominating the Clippers to you? So let's cut all of this stuff about cooking Kawhi and all that never happened. Ever. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, leave your thoughts in the comment section. We catch you on the next show. Peace.